If you are standing on the fence of learning art and deep down feel a sense of hesitation in committing to your passion, this video will open your eyes to why that hesitation comes up and why making art matters in ways you might have never considered before. Well, the thing is, whenever artists are asked why do they create art, most of them say because I like it. They don't move much further than this I like it territory. No wonder then art and artists are misunderstood as woo-woo or too self-absorbed or not fit for the practical world. Then it makes sense to ask things like how can a brush with some paint on it solve real world challenges? Or why to spend time and money on art? Or simply why making art matters? My answer? Well, because it is good, it is excellent for your 16 minds. Wait, 16? Yup, let's uncover them now. Hi, I am Parul, founder of RestartART. I help you to rekindle your creativity and confidently step into the artist you know you are. Without further ado, let's get into the video straight away. The idea that we have not one but 16 minds is not new. Yogic scriptures like Upanishads or Shiv Sutra have covered this way back 2000 years ago. In yogic culture, it basically explains that a human mind has 16 dimensions to it. You may wonder what all of this has to do with art. Well, on one hand, where our society is driven by aspects like economics, STEM, now AI, basically intellect, reason, logic, it leaves a big question mark on remaining unfulfilled aspects of being human. Our well-being is signed off to some vacation or to weekends, and we power through burnouts, life crises, stress, anxiety, and so on. So, art, my dear friend, steps right in here. It nourishes all those 16 dimensions of our mind. Now let me show you those dimensions and how art can be a brilliant instrument in tapping into those dimensions. Packing all the 16 dimensions into one video will be too much. So I will divide them into 4 main categories. If you want me to go in more detail, we can make a series out of it. Just let me know in the comments below. So the first dimension of a human mind is Manas. It is a huge collection of memory and sensations. Have you ever noticed that you have personal inclination to certain things like, let's say, colors? For example, whenever I see white, it reminds me of purity. To someone, it may remind them of wedding ceremony. In India, when somebody dies, people wear white clothes. Same white color, but different emotions are evoked, just because different memory associations are there. Now, to a newborn child who hasn't developed a sense of identity, culture, meaning, worldview, white does not mean anything in particular, just because there is no fully ready manas at play. Manas is basically a huge storehouse of memory. It does not get stored only in our brains, but in every cell of our body. That's why, even with our closed eyes, we get a sense of knowing when we hold our loved one's hand in comparison to a hand of a stranger. Our body remembers affection, tenderness, grief, awe, and so on. This is why amongst many uses of art, one of the uses is as a therapy to help people release stress, trauma, blocked mindsets, unlock their imagination, and so on. Because art does not use only logic and rational, but also other aspects of being human, such as instinct, curiosity, imagination, we are able to express even the deeply stuck energies without having to wrestle with them head on. That is why after creating art, we feel energized, renewed, a truer version of us. But art does not stop at manas. It uses the next dimension of our mind, which is buddhi. By the way, if you love exploring art and creativity in such a deep manner, you would absolutely love my newsletters, where I share creative prompts, exercises, and much more. If you're interested, you can get these newsletters for free. The sign-up link for them is in the description box below. If Manas is the storehouse of all the memories we have ever collected, Buddhi is the intellect that uses all that database to think and reason. For example, if all of us were to create a drawing on the topic home, each one of us will envision something unique and therefore our artworks would be different. Now, if I come along and dictate a drawing on the topic home, you may follow along for the technique's sake, but tell me, would copying help you to tap into what you can see through your mind's eye? Well, that's why copying does not allow you to grow. You gotta go past copying in order to actually get in tune with what you can see through your mind's eye. Intellect is a fantastic tool to use the knowledge you have to come up with ideas, but it has limitation. The limitation is that it cannot go past what you already know. It functions within the boundaries of your manas. It rather leads you to the next dimension of your mind called ahankar. Before I go into the next dimension of our human mind, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It helps this channel to reach all those artists who are yearning to rekindle their creativity. Thank you. The next dimension is called ahankar. It is the sense of I. We call ourselves portrait artists, landscape artists, watercolor artists, abstract artists, whatnot. These categories are great if you are curating an art exhibition or require particular artworks for a certain project. But otherwise, strongly identifying with one particular thing is like closing doors on remaining possibilities. Then we identify with aspects like, I'm not good at drawing, or I'm not creative enough, or either you're a born artist or you're not. Understand this thing. Whatever boundaries you set for yourself, that is the area in which your intellect will function. It will not go anywhere beyond it. And art is the last thing that you should be using in such a fixed and narrowed, predefined manner. Art is rather an open, multifaceted tool. It's like an army knife. You don't just cut apples with an army knife. Of course, you can cut apples with it, but you can do so much more. Art evolves you. It is an inward journey that unfolds new possibilities in you. There are endless examples of artists whose evolution started from classical drawings, grew towards more experimental paintings, evolved to abstract art, and still they continue to push the envelope. You grow with your art and your art grows with you. It is an alive relationship that feeds on enriched soil of open-mindedness. So don't hold any identity too tightly that it suffocates your art growth and creative possibilities. When you participate in art this way, you experience, you rediscover the free-spirited, alive self which existed way before all these labels ever touched you. When you practice art this way, you experience the next dimension, the very subtle dimension of our human mind, which is called Chitta, the pure intelligence. You must have experienced this at some point. Hours and hours go by and it feels as if only 10 minutes have gone by. Art making process has this special quality of time collapsing. Some call it meditative experience. Some say they are a medium to a higher self or a muse. Basically, it's a state of flow where everything falls into place. Synchronicities happen, ideas spring up. This flow is a beautiful creative energy where there's not much effort from your side, but it's just an organic process where you are just creating beautifully. Some inner energy flows through you and you are in a beautiful flow state. When this thing happens, when this kind of experience happens, you are basically touching this dimension of mind called Chitta. Art allows you to reap the spiritual benefits of Chitta. This kind of benefit, this kind of beauty, flow, creativity does not just stay till your canvas, it spreads across to all the aspects of your life. You feel rejoiced, you feel joyous, you feel rejuvenated, a special sense of fresh energy comes up. You handle life much better just because you journeyed inwards, just because you immersed yourself in the creative process. This is the benefit of creating art with that kind of openness and surrender. So, coming back to the question, why art matters? Well, now you know. So, these were the 4 main categories under which all those 16 dimensions of mind are clubbed under. These 4 categories are Manas, Buddhi, Ahankar, and Chitta. At RestartART, from newsletters to content to courses, everything is designed based on these kind of timeless principles. If you're interested in experiencing and learning art this way, I think you will really like my art courses. I will leave the link in the description box below. Until we meet next time, remember to boldly step into the artist you know you are. RestartART. It's good for you.